Good morning, happy Friday, second graders and families. I'm gonna go ahead and read chapter 2 of My Father's Dragon, and there's 2 challenges at the end. So I will get to that in a moment, but first I wanted to give you 2 updates. Update number 1, next week is spring break. Now that was on the schedule long before COVID-19 came around. And we weren't sure what it was going to look like, but the district has decided kids just need a break right now. So I will be assigning no new work. We were going to introduce Menu Monday next week, but it's going to be put off just 1 week. So I'll have a menu of educational options for you the following Monday. I believe that's the 13th. Then I will continue to read aloud during next week, just because I think it is really awesome to be able to share this book with you. So no pressure to watch those videos, but I will send them just for funsies. Update number 2, the governor did extend the stay-at-home order yesterday until May 4th. However, the state has given no information what that's going to look like for schools. So I will let you know as soon as I have any information. The district hasn't been given any information either, so just keep an ear out for that. I promise you, as soon as I get updates, I will give them to you as well. But the main thing is, take a breather next week. Have a spring break at home, and just enjoy yourself and de-stress.
Hey everybody, are you ready for chapter 2?
Chapter 2, My Father Runs Away. I guess Lyric's running away too. All right. Well, now remember, the cat is explaining what he saw at Wild Island that made him so sad. Wild Island is practically cut in two by a very wide and muddy river, continued the cat. This river begins near one end of the island and flows into the ocean at the other. Now the animals are very lazy, and they used to hate having to go all the way around the beginning of this river to get to the other side of the island. It made visiting inconvenient and mail delivery slow, particularly during the Christmas rush. Crocodiles could have carried passengers and mail across the river, but crocodiles are very moody and not the least bit dependable, and they are always looking for something to eat. They don't care if the animals have to walk around the river, so that's just what the animals did for many years. But what does all this have to do with airplanes? Asked my father, who thought the cat was taking an awfully long time to explain. Be patient, Elmer, said the cat. And then she went on with the story. One day, about 4 months before I arrived on Wild Island, a baby dragon fell from a low-flying cloud onto the bank of the river. He was too young to fly very well, and besides, he had bruised one wing quite badly, so he couldn't get back to his cloud. The animals found him soon afterwards, and everybody said, "Why, this is exactly what we've needed all these years." They tied a big rope around his neck and waited for the wing to get well. This was going to end all their crossing the river troubles. "I've never seen a dragon," said my father. "Did you see him? How big is he?" "Oh yes, indeed I saw the dragon. In fact, we became great friends," said the cat. "I used to hide in the bushes and talk to him when nobody was around. He's not a very big dragon, about the size of a black bear, although I imagine he's grown quite a bit since I left. He's got a long tail and yellow and blue stripes. His horn and eyes and the bottoms of his feet are bright red, and he has gold-colored wings." "Oh, how wonderful," said my father. What did the animals do to him when his wing got well?" "They started training him to carry passengers. And even though he's just a baby dragon, they work him all day and all night too sometimes. They make him carry loads that are much too heavy, and if he complains, they twist his wings and beat him. He's always tied to a stake on a rope just long enough to go across the river. His only friends are the crocodiles, who say hello to him once a week if they don't forget. Really, he's the most miserable animal I've ever come across. When I left, I promised I'd try to help him someday, although I couldn't see how. The rope around his neck is the biggest, toughest rope you can imagine, with so many knots that it would take days to untie them all. Anyway, when you were talking about airplanes, you gave me a good idea. Now, I'm quite sure that if you were able to rescue the dragon, which wouldn't be the least bit easy, he'd let you ride him most anywhere, provided that you were nice to him, of course. How about trying it? Oh, I'd love to, said my father, and he was so angry at his mother for being rude to the cat that he didn't feel the least bit sad about running away from home for a while. That very afternoon, my father and the cat went down to the docks to see about ships going to the island of Tangerina. They found out that a ship would be sailing the next week, so right away they started planning for the rescue of the dragon. The cat was a great help in suggesting things for my father to take with him, and she told him everything she knew about Wild Island. Of course, she was too old to go alone. Everything had to be kept very secret, so when they found or bought anything to take on the trip, they hid it behind a rock in the park. The night before my father sailed, he borrowed his father's knapsack, and he and the cat packed everything very carefully. He took chewing gum, 24 pink lollipops, a package of rubber bands, black rubber boots, a compass, a toothbrush, and a tube of toothpaste, 6 magnifying glasses, a very sharp jackknife, a comb, and a hairbrush, 7 hair ribbons of different colors, an empty grain bag with a label saying cranberry, some clean clothes, and enough food to last my father while he was on the ship. He couldn't live on mice, so he took 25 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and 6 apples, because that's all the apples he could find in the pantry. When everything was packed, my father and the cat went down to the docks to the ship. A night watchman was on duty, so while the cat made loud, queer noises to distract his attention, my father ran over the gangplank onto the ship. He went down into the hold and hid among some bags of wheat. The ship sailed early the next morning. So that's the end of chapter 2. I will read chapter 3 next week. And in the meantime, I have 2 challenges for you. Number 1, I would love for you to draw me a picture of one of the main characters. You can decide who the main characters are, because that's something we worked on in school. Who are the characters? The main character is who it's mostly about. So who do you think that is? Challenge number 2. My father packed several kind of peculiar things on his trip. One of the things he brought was 24 pink lollipops. 24. I want you to see if you can tell me how many lollipops that is. Do you remember how much a dozen is? How much would 24 be? So you can message that to me. You could put it in the comments, but then everybody would see it. Or you could take a picture of it on a piece of paper or send it to me in email. Lots of options. Really excited to see what you come up with, 2nd graders. I miss you.